everyone, happy spring. I'm so happy to be here with you all during this crazy time. I'm here to offer you a slow flow yin practice. So today we'll need a blanket. So any blanket that you can use and find around your house is great. And then if we can also find at least 2 pillows, that's good as well. If you have blocks for a heart opener, you can grab those. I understand most of us might not have all yoga props around our house. So we're gonna get started in a heart opener today. So go ahead and grab a blanket, and I like to make sure my blanket is rolled up into a square, and then we'll just roll the blanket so it's tight, and you can adjust this heart opener to however deep you want it. So the smaller the blanket is folded up, the deeper the heart opener is going to be. And we'll go ahead and grab a pillow, or if you have a bolster, you can grab that, and we'll place it underneath the knees. And then we're going to scooch back so that we're supporting the upper thoracic spine with the blanket and bringing the shoulders down to the earth. And as you settle in here, just moving so that you feel the heart is supported, as it's supported maybe by a shelf. And then letting the shoulders relax, the palms relax, and close the eyes. And just beginning to receive the breath, so receiving the natural inhalations and exhalations. And allowing the space between the eyebrows to soften. Releasing the ears, tension in the jaw. Letting the tongue release. And beginning to magnetize all parts of your being towards the center. So the center of the physical body and the spiritual body. I'm just noticing what is present here in this moment. Maybe at first noticing sounds around you in the room. Sense the air touching the skin. And begin to dive into the physical layers of the body. Noticing where there's any tightness or tension, or maybe ease and lightness. And begin to tap into the emotional state. Just noticing what's present here in the emotional mind, the emotional being. And allow yourself to feel whatever is present. Noticing where that feeling is stored in the body. Noticing where it's showing up, the quality of sensation it holds. Maybe a texture or color. And allowing yourself just to make space for that and deepening the breath. So lengthening out the inhalations, finding a pause, and finding complete exhalations. And we'll be here for about 6 more full cycles of breath. Just staying present with anything in the body, the mind. Notice where you can soften and release. And we'll find 3 more full cycles of breath here. Allowing one last full inhalation, filling up the lungs. And a complete exhalation, emptying the breath, letting it go. Beginning to just come back into the physical body, maybe rubbing the fingertips together, wiggling the toes. And slowly, when you're ready, you can begin to bend the knees, release the bolster or pillow from beneath you, and then rolling over onto one side, release the blanket or blocks that is supporting the upper thoracic spine. The next place we'll meet is just on the back. So once you've landed, just pulling knees in towards chest, taking a few minutes here, moments just to rock side to side, releasing any tension in the lower back, the hips. And we'll release the arms out into cactus arms here. And then we'll take the knees over to the right and gently just scooching the hips over to the left about an inch. Finding a lengthening sensation through the spine as you inhale. And then as you exhale, releasing gaze over the left shoulder. And just find a few cycles of breath here. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to soften and twist. And on your next inhalation, we'll just begin to draw the knees back through center, scooching the pelvis back through neutral. And then draw knees back in towards chest. Exhale, send the knees over to the left, hips over to the right. As you exhale, we'll shift the gaze over the right shoulder, using the inhale to find length through the spine. Exhale to soften and twist. On your next inhale, we'll draw the knees back through center. And just bringing the feet to outer edges of the mat here. And we'll draw the knees into touch. You can bring hands down by the hips, and we'll just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Massaging out the glutes. Finding some movement throughout the hips. Good. One more breath here. And we'll draw the knees back in towards the chest. And then how many spine rocks as you need. We'll just begin to rock up the spine one vertebrae at a time. You can massage out the spine once or twice, and we'll eventually meet in a tabletop position. Hands are stacked underneath the shoulders, and then knees will stack underneath the hips. Find a long neutral spine. And as you inhale, soften lower belly, tailbone lifts, gaze lifts, heart opens. Exhale, spine rounds, chin draws in towards chest. Inhale to soften, belly, heart opens. Exhale, spine rounds, chin draws in towards chest. Good. Taking a few moments here just to move through cat-cow, adding any other layers of movement in the spine or hips that feel good. On your next breath, we'll come back through a neutral spine. Tuck the toes and then send the hips high, downward facing dog. Release the weight of the head. You can walk, adjust the feet, bending into one knee and then the other. And on your next exhale, we'll begin to walk the hands forward into a forward fold. Feet are hip width distance apart or wider. And then just bringing the hands to opposite elbows here, releasing weight of the neck. Releasing shoulders, and maybe just swaying side to side, shaking the head yes, shaking the head no. Exhale to release the hands down to the earth. Inhale, drawing hands to the shins, opening through the heart, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Good. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to soften and fold. Good. 1 more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Drawing the belly in. Exhale to fold, releasing head and neck. On your next inhale, bend into the knees, roll up the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way into standing, soften shoulders down the back. Tadasana mountain pose. Close the eyes, allowing the feet to connect into the earth. Allow yourself to find an anchor here and now. One more full breath. Inhale, sweep arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find a flat back. As you exhale, we'll step the right foot back. Releasing the right knee down onto the earth. Inhale, draw arms up overhead. Pull lower belly in, left thigh bone back. Allowing yourself to connect with the breath. Softening in the face. Exhale, hands frame out the left foot. Keep the right palm planted. Inhale, sweep left fingertips high. Draw the belly in as you twist. And then either staying here or maybe go ahead and grabbing the right toes. Opening through the heart, softening left shoulder back. Exhale, soften to release. Bring the left palm and inner edge of the left foot, walking the left foot out just a few inches here. Pulling the heart open, keeping right knee softened down into the earth. Option here to stay or to lower down onto forearms. Just breathing into the hips, allowing crown of the head to lengthen. Releasing weight of the head. One last full inhale. And exhale. On your next breath, we'll press back into the palms. Walking the left foot back in, so we're framing up the left foot, tucking right toes. As you exhale, step right foot forward, forward fold, releasing head and neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and fold. This time we'll step the left foot back. Release left knee down, inhale to rise. Draw belly in, right thigh bone back. Notice where you can soften here. Exhale to release the hands down. Frame up the right foot. Keep left palm planted. Inhale, reach right fingertips up overhead. Opening through the heart, drawing belly in. Option to stay here or grab left toes. Twisting heart open a little bit more. And exhale to release the toes. Release right palm down. Walking right foot out just a few inches, right palm comes into inner edge of that foot. And then we're opening through the heart here. Option to stay here, lower down onto the forearms. Keep the right knee drawn in towards side body. Breathing into left hip flexor. Releasing weight of the head. And allow yourself one last full inhale. And exhale. Inhale, pressing back up. And we'll walk the right toes in, framing up the right foot. This time, we'll step right foot back, meeting in a downward facing dog. One last breath here just to connect. Inhale fully through the nose, finding a pause. And then open the mouth, exhale to release. Good. Lower the knees back down onto the earth. And we'll go ahead and find our pillows or bolster if you have one. So from here, we're going to adjust these pillows a little bit. We're coming into a supported seal. So we're going to just bring the belly onto the pillows. And then we're going to tuck the arms underneath the pillows that will stack. And then just bring one cheek to the bolster or pillows. Or the other, whichever is comfortable here. And just making sure that the belly is supported, the chest is supported. And allowing yourself just to soften. And feel the breath connected into the space of the bolster, the pillow. Feeling a slight lengthening through the lower lumbar spine. And with every inhale, feel that sense of length from tailbone through crown of the head. And with every exhale, allowing the body just to soften. And stay connected into the breath, finding full inhalations and complete exhalations. And allowing yourself to come back into that place of emotional sensation. Noticing where it's stored in the body, where you really feel that. And then maybe noticing how that sensation, how that feeling can shift, how it can change. The intensity, where it's located. Maybe the texture of it changes altogether into a new felt sense of sensation or feeling. And allow yourself to take the opposite cheek to the bolster. Continuing to soften the right cheek or the left cheek into the space of the pillow, releasing fingertips, releasing glutes. And we'll find 3 more full cycles of breath here. Find one last full inhalation and a complete exhalation. On your next inhale, draw the neck back through center. We'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders and pressing into the knees. We'll meet in a child's pose this time. So if you'd like, you can grab one pillow or bolster and bringing it underneath the belly. So toes are touching knees wide and then extending fingertips straight out overhead. It's beginning to release the head, the neck. If you'd like support of another pillow, if you have like an awkward gap here, you can grab a second one and just place it underneath the forehead. And allow the pillow or bolster to hold the belly, the chest. And allow the hips just to soften and sink back towards the heels. Find lengthening breaths through the side bodies, through the intercostal muscles that aid in breath and breathing. noticing the body in stillness, checking in. How does it feel to be still here in this moment? Where are the thoughts? And seeing if you can come back into the physical body. Come back into sensation and what's present here and now. And allow yourself 3 last full cycles of breath here. Allowing these breaths to be really full and present. Find one last full inhalation and a complete exhalation. And when you're ready, you can press the palms back into the earth. And we'll begin to just stack the pillows back on top of each other here. And we'll bring the left hip to the bolster or pillows. And go ahead and place the left sole of the foot to the right knee or the right thigh. We can also play around with the pillows and see kind of what's more comfortable here, but we'll frame them out, pulling the heart forward, lengthening through the spine. And then as you exhale, we'll soften the torso down towards the bolster or pillow. And again, just getting creative here, moving, adjusting the pillows as necessary. And softening the left cheek down. And if you'd like to come into a deeper twist, you can bring the right cheek to the pillow or bolster. Soften the eyes. And allow the breath to draw in towards the left hip space. And allowing the breath to travel from the left hip all the way up through the full spine. Feeling a sense of lightness through crown of the head as you exhale to soften. Release any tension here in the fingers, the hands. And offering the shoulders just to let go, jaw to release. Stay connected into the breath, into the body. So when the mind escapes and thoughts begin to come up, just begin to notice the thoughts and noticing how you can drop back in. And using this as a practice to drop back into the felt sense of the body over and over again. And allow yourself 3 last full cycles of breath here. Find 1 last full inhalation and a complete exhalation. When you're ready to come out, take your time, place the palms underneath the shoulders, press the torso, the chest back up. And then we'll go ahead and just pivot onto the other hip. Bring the right hip to the bolster or pillows. And bring right sole of the foot to the left knee or thigh. Feet are active, placing the palms to frame out the pillow space, lengthening through the spine, and then as you exhale, go ahead and guide the spine, the torso down. Bringing either right cheek or left cheek to the pillow here, depending on how deep of a spinal twist engagement you want. And then releasing into it, allowing the bolster to envelop the space of the body. Notice how much you can surrender here. Noticing if you've surrendered about 50%. Noticing what it feels like to release and surrender 30% more. Directing the breath into space of the right hip, all the way up through length of the spine, through crown of the head. And allowing the body here just to be in stillness and in silence. can you soften? Is it physically or maybe mentally, emotionally? Being gentle with yourself here and offering 3 last full cycles of breath in this space. And one last full inhalation and complete exhalation. Begin to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing the torso back up. And we'll roll back onto the sits bones here, bringing the hands behind the hips, walking the feet to outer edges of the mat, and then just windshield wiping the knees side to side. That was my dishwasher. Okay. When you're ready, we'll just come back through center here, and we'll make our way back into a tabletop position. You can go ahead and release the bolsters or pillows to the side of the mat. Good. Next place we'll meet is coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So we'll go ahead, if you like support for underneath the sits bones, you can go ahead and bring a folded blanket underneath. If you would rather not, you can skip that. And then maybe grabbing one of your pillows or maybe both, depending on how much support you need here. Walking the legs as wide as feels good. And then we'll bring the hands down by the hips and just lengthening through the spine, maybe rocking side to side. Keep the feet really active here. And then making sure that the hips are staying square. So we're not finding any outward or inward rotation of the hips, but we're staying through neutral. And on your next inhalation, we'll begin to walk the fingertips forward, and then you can place the blocks or bolster, whatever support you have, for underneath the forehead or the belly. And then just finding a moment here to release weight of the head. It's really nice to bring some sort of support for under the head. So maybe that's bringing palms together in Samasthiti underneath the forehead, letting the elbows just release into the earth. And continuing to draw the belly in and lengthening from the tailbone, the lower lumbar spine, and just reaching that length through crown of the head, through the upper thoracic spine, and letting the shoulders soften, letting the space beneath the kneecap soften. Notice if you can anchor yourself into the breath. as we take these yin postures, as we find this deep felt stillness in the body and in the mind, we're tapping into those deeper connective tissues in the body, ligaments and joints. And we're offering the body some deeper and greater opening. So we're giving ourselves the gift of time. Time to open up here. So in this process, the body might ask you to back up, to offer more support in whatever space you're in, or it might ask you to go deeper. And noticing how you respond in this space. We'll take 3 last full cycles of breath here. Find one last full inhalation, filling up the lungs. Exhale to soften and release the breath. Let it go. And on your next breath, as you inhale, find length through the spine, walking the hands back up through center. Good. You can release the bolster or pillow to the side. And then we'll bring the right forearm down, either onto the right thigh and shin or on the inner edge. I'm bringing the left hand to the hip first, opening up the left hip space, and then we'll inhale, lengthen left fingertips up overhead, keeping the feet active, reaching left fingertips towards the right toes. Gaze can draw underneath the armpit, lengthen through left side body. On your next inhale, we'll rise left fingertips reach, connecting right palm to the left. Exhale, hands through heart center, finding stillness. Good. Offer the left forearm down to either the leg or the inner thigh. Bring right hand to the hip. So we're just peeling the heart open here. Pulling from lower belly, again through crown of the head. Inhale, reach right fingertips up overhead. Soften right shoulder. Drawing gaze underneath right armpit. Reaching right fingertips towards the left toes. Lengthen through right side body. Find one last full breath. Inhale to rise right fingertips high, connecting left palm to meet right. Exhale, hands through heart center. Find one last full breath here. Good. Next posture we'll come into is butterfly. So we'll begin to just draw the soles of the feet to touch here, bringing the knees wide. And We can bring a pillow on top of the legs if that feels good. You can bring 1 or 2 there. And then we'll bring the hands back to connect at either the ankles or the feet. You can stay seated onto your blanket if you'd like, or you can release it. And we'll find length again through the spine. And then as you exhale, beginning to hinge forward at the hips, maybe sending the elbows to press into the knees, lengthening the crown of the head forward and down. If it feels good, you can release the head all the way down to the pillow. And breathing into the hips, into the glutes. Seeing as you soften the forehead, the third eye down, if you can direct the breath and energetic space into the forehead, the third eye. And noticing with every inhale if you can find that sense of length and lightness. And then with every exhale, if that space in between the eyebrows, the third eye, can just soften and release. Releasing any tension as you exhale. Again, inhale, finding some space, some ease and lightness, and exhale to soften and release. Notice the quality of sensation in the hip space. Noticing if you can send the breath there as well. Noticing if you can really just be present with this area of the body. Tapping back inward over and over again. We have 3 last full cycles of breath. Find 1 last full inhalation and complete exhalation. Good. When you're ready, just beginning to create that length, coming all the way back up. And you can release the pillow or bolster to the side, releasing the sits bones from underneath the blanket if they were supported. And then just drawing the knees back into the chest here. Soles of the feet land onto the earth. Good. And then we'll just walk the feet back to the outer edges of the mat again and releasing the knees to windshield wiper side to side. Inhale, come back through center. We'll reach the fingertips forward, heart pulls forward as you exhale, releasing down the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Bringing the hands down by the hip, soles of the feet reach down into the earth, and then we'll just begin to cross the right ankle on top of the left here. Bringing the hands to interlace in between the legs. Hands can either stack on top of the shins or the left hamstring. Keep the feet active, and then as you exhale, we'll pull the left knee in towards the chest, engaging the breath into the outer right hip. Allow the shoulders to relax into the earth, relaxing chin. Maybe swallowing here, releasing any tension in the throat. And just find one last full cycle of breath here into the right hip. Good. Go ahead and release left sole of the foot down. Bring arms out into cactus arms. Keep the right ankle stacked on top of the left knee, and then we'll just bring the outer edge of the left thigh onto the earth, right sole of the foot down onto the earth. So the right knee is pointed up towards the ceiling. We're keeping engagement and stretch through this right hip. To deepen, you can grab the right ankle with the left hand and pull the right heel in towards the left hip. And if that doesn't serve you, just let it go. Continuing to find deep, full breaths here. Find one last full cycle of breath. And we'll inhale back through center. Bringing the left arm back out into cactus arms, and we're just going to take the knees over to the right. So right ankle is stacking on top of the left thigh. Finding a sense of release into this left side body, left hip. And find a few cycles of breath here. On your next inhalation, we'll draw the knees back through center. Release right sole of the foot down onto the earth. Feet are hip width distance apart and come into reclined pigeon on the other side. So left ankle steps on top of right knee, threading arms through the legs, either grabbing the right shin or the right hamstring. Pull the right knee into the chest, keep the active, softening shoulders. Release chin. And just sending breath into the left outer hip. And allowing the body a few more full breaths here. Find one last full cycle of breath. And we'll release the right sole of the foot down onto the earth, bringing arms back into cactus arms. And then we're releasing outer edge of right thigh down, left sole of the foot down onto the earth. Maybe finding the left ankle with the right hand, pulling left heel in towards the right hip to deepen. If that feels like too much, forget it and just breathe into the left hip. Allowing full belly breaths. On your next inhale, we'll gently draw the right sole of the foot back onto the earth, releasing the right arm back into cactus arm and just taking the knees over to the left. So left ankle is stacked on top of the right thigh, lengthening through right side body this time. A few more cycles of breath here. And we'll inhale back through center. Feet plant underneath the knees. And then I'll give you a few options here. So coming into any last movements that feel supportive in the body, maybe taking a happy baby, grabbing outer edges of the feet, pulling knees in towards armpits. You can rock side to side. If you'd like, you can bring soles of the feet together, knees wide, bringing one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Or if you'd like to take a shoulder stand or plow, you can begin to do that, bringing the feet behind the head, breathing into the back. And wherever you are for these next 5 cycles of breath, just really allowing the breath to be fully engaged. Sinking into the stillness, thanking your body. And the next breath or so, beginning to make your way all the way down onto your mat. And we'll take a leg up the wall position. If you have a wall that you're close to, feel free to go there, bringing your mat there. You can bring a bolster underneath the pelvis if that feels supportive. If you don't have a wall that's very available, you can stack a few pillows and just bringing the heels and legs underneath the pillow space and coming into Shavasana. And allowing the shoulders to draw underneath one another, giving your heart a shelf of support here and relaxing the palms. And we'll just take a few cycles of cleansing breath together. So we'll inhale fully through the nose, find a pause at the top of the breath, sipping in a little bit more air. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale fully. Find a pause, sipping in a little bit more air. Open the mouth, exhale to release. One last time, inhale fully, finding a pause. Finding your biggest breath here, sipping in as much air as you can. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. And allow the forehead to soften, the jaw to soften. Releasing cheeks, letting the tongue release from roof of the mouth. letting the body fully surrender into the space of the earth. Coming back into that felt sense of emotional, physical sensation in the body. Notice if you can target that space in the body where that emotion we detected in the beginning of class was present. And seeing if you can pour in some gratitude into that space. What is the quality of sensation of that gratitude? What is the texture, the flavor, the color? Letting that circulate through your entire being here. Letting all the boundaries and borders of your body be in this felt sense. And allowing yourself to rest here in our final resting pose, Shavasana, for as long as you need. And thank you so much for being here, sharing your practice with me virtually. And when you're ready, you can come out in your own time. And namaste.